Guys, what's going on? I hope you guys are well. I hope you guys are staying safe. So guys, there's some interesting news developing. Um, Anthony Joshua is holding further talks. Apparently, he held further talks with Eddy Reynoso, Canelo Alvarez's trainer, who we all know, camp, in order to talk about the training situation. This is building up pace. And I think Anthony Joshua has always been a big admirer of Canelo Alvarez. I remember when Anthony Joshua got asked who's the biggest star in the sport, he said Canelo. He said, I like Canelo. I like everything about Canelo. And he's been a big fan of Canelo ever since. You know, he always speaks of Canelo very highly. Hence why I think he probably thinks, because what you got to understand is Anthony Joshua here in the UK, wherever he goes to train, there'll be a lot of, wow, Anthony. Everyone like looks up to him. Everybody will be looking at him as the big man in the gym. Anthony Joshua probably wants to and he's probably not learning much of, like, you always learn things of other fighters, even though they may not be at your level or they may not be where you are, you know, in boxing. However, you can always learn things, little things. You know, sometimes there's things that other people do better than you, even if they're not at the level you are. But the point is that I think Anthony Joshua wants to go into a gym where he's just another fighter. And what I mean by that is that there's other guys on his level or viewed as better. If he goes into the Eddy Reynoso's gym, like, he's definitely not better than Canelo. Oscar Valdez is a very good fighter. You know, so now he's going into a gym where there's other great fighters, which he probably doesn't have that in the UK. He doesn't have that setup where he's got fighters of that caliber training alongside him. You know, you've got the pound for pound best in the world, right? Just the little things that Canelo does, the little, you know, the head movement, the great defensive skills, the great boxing mind that Canelo has, or even only a little bit has to rub off. It changes your game. The mindset of Canelo, you know, there's many things he may do to prepare for a fight which Joshua could, you know, ingrain into his training. And Eddy Reynoso is a guy that right now, he's the man in the sense that he's creating champions. You know, there's guys that are coming to him and they're really, their careers are taking off. And I think the biggest success story is obviously the main man, Saul Canelo Alvarez. So I think Eddy Reynoso might not be a bad move for AJ, to be honest with you. But I'm a little bit concerned about that camp in the sense that how's he gonna fit everything in when you've got Valdez, when you've got Canelo, when you've got you know, Andy Ruiz? I don't know how it's gonna work. I don't know how all of that's going to work. Ryan Garcia, how's he going to fit all of that in? I don't quite understand. And hasn't he now got Virgil Ortiz as well? He's now got Virgil Ortiz. Yeah, man, I don't know how he's going to be able to train all those guys. I don't. I don't know. I don't know how that's going to all work out because, like I said, can it work? I don't know. Maybe it can, but I don't know. Like I said, I don't really think it's a technical issue with AJ. Yeah, a different trainer has different ideas and he may be able to install something else in AJ, but I think it's more a mental thing. It's more something that he's got to fight himself. You know, he lost to Usyk because it was more of a mental issue. It's more him being gun shy, him not, you know, being as aggressive as he needs to be. You know, that old AJ that didn't really care about what was coming at him. Now he's a bit too cautious because he got knocked out by Ruiz. He's a completely different fighter. So this is what I mean. Can any other trainer change that? Possibly. You're not going to know if you stay with one guy all the time. You're not going to know. So if he feels that something's broken and he needs to fix something, at the end of the day, what he's got to realize is that the next fight that AJ has with Usyk, his career's on the line. Because if he loses that, he'll never get, I don't think he'll ever get back to the level that he was at. You see, when he fought Ruiz, he got knocked out, but then he came back and won. If he was to lose 2 back-to-back, that level that AJ got to, and Ray made a brilliant point, that I don't think he'll ever be at the level. I think it was Ray that said it on the live stream. I don't think he'll ever be on that level that he once was a couple years ago, or he is now, because, you know, his fight against Pulev was pretty big, and his recent fight with Usyk had he filled out the Tottenham Stadium, so he's still a massive star. But if he was to lose again, I think the pay-per-view numbers, I think the ticket selling ability will definitely take a hit, because your credibility's taking a hit, and it's very important for him to get this right. This next move is very important. If he gets it wrong, it could be curtains. So he knows that he needs to make sure that he gets this right. And actually, no, it might have even been Dominic Ingles' interview that I was listening to. I don't know if it was either Ray, I can't remember. Someone said it. I can't remember. I can't recall it. I listen to so many people, and we do live streams listening to so many. I can't always recall, but I can remember Ray mentioning something, and I think I saw an interview with Dominic Ingle as well, that this is a very, very important move for AJ. He needs to get this right. If he gets this wrong, he's in big trouble, because his career is on the line here. So it's very important he makes this right decision. Is Canelo Alvarez trainer Eddy Reynoso the right trainer? Possibly. We don't know. Remember, heavyweights are unique as well. You've got to have experience training heavyweights, right? Heavyweights aren't like training smaller fighters. You know, so again, like I said, he's got to be well calculated. No, see, here's the thing. Other trainers, right? Other trainers will want to work with AJ because they know, Dominic Ingle mentioned this. It's a lot of money working with AJ. You know, they're going to make a few quid. Eddy Reynoso, on the other hand, he's not, obviously he'll make money if he trains Joshua, but Eddy Reynoso's already in a great position financially, because he's got the best fighter in the world. He's got the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world. And it happens to be the biggest star in boxing as well, in Canelo. So Eddy Reynoso isn't going to be like the other guys who haven't got fighters of the level of Eddy Reynoso, and they're probably not as, in terms of training, they're not as making as much money as Reynoso is as a trainer. So Eddy Reynoso isn't going to be like, yeah, he obviously is going to get benefit financially from working with AJ, of course, right? But he's not going to be too concerned, because he's, like I said, he's got so many great fighters, and he's got the biggest star in the sport he's working with. So that's another thing that you've got to take into consideration. However, when you look at the fact that how many fighters that Eddy Reynoso's got, I just don't know how he's going to be able to allocate the time, because surely there's going to be times where there's going to be overlapping of fighters fighting, because if you've got that many fighters, that many champions, they're all going to be fighting in around the same time. You know, remember, Canelo is his biggest star, right? And he's going to fight at least twice a year. And Joshua fights twice a year. So surely the dates are going to clash. This is the thing. So you changing trainers and going with someone like Reynoso, is he going to be able to give you the time that you need? And Canelo doesn't need a lot. Like, Canelo doesn't need a lot of Reynoso's time, because Canelo knows what he's doing, you know. But obviously with Joshua's going to need a lot of time, because he needs, like, even though I say a lot of time, it's more a mental issue. It's not more technical. It's more about working out a game plan on how to beat Alexander Usyk, which is going to have to be well thought of, well planned. They're going to have to get good sparring partners in. They're going to have to work the game plan out to the T. And listen, in a fight, things change. Not everything, you may get a cut. Anything can happen in a fight. But they're going to have a game plan, and they're going to have to try to execute that in sparring. And they're going to have to try to emulate what may happen in the fight and the way Usyk fights, and how they're going to approach about dealing with that style that Usyk has. right? That's gonna take a while prepping and, like I said, getting the right sparring partners in, getting the game plan right, because it's gonna have to be. Otherwise, he can't beat. Even if he does get it right, I don't think he beats Usyk. But if, like, these are all things that he's gonna have to perfect, and a wrong decision here could be completely disastrous for his career. So he needs to make sure that he gets it right, and hence why he's probably taking time. A lot of people are saying that he needs to change, but sometimes change may not be good, because let's not forget, people were saying that when he lost to Andy Ruiz, that he needs to change his trainer, but yet he stayed with Rob McCracken, and he ended up winning the rematch. So again, it just depends on what AJ. If AJ is not happy, then he's got to do what he's got to do for himself. At the end of the day, it's his career, and he mentioned that in the IFL TV interview. It's his career. He needs to think about himself, not about anybody else. You know, and that's where I'll leave it at. But leave your thoughts, guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. And guys, remember to please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in the next video.